everyone! Welcome back to Draw Steel, a pact made in Amber. When last we played, our heroes defeated Shitemikte, the lizard folk Deathrex, who had taken over the Tlatsiski tribe. They rescued the hostages taken from Grinnell, which were being ritually sacrificed. Bansii realized that there was some sort of summoning ritual being undertaken, and the party was able to stop all of that. You completed the tasks set before you by Ishtla, the lizard folk matron that you had met on your journey through the jungles. And you were overall successful in both defeating Shitemite, rescuing the hostages, I say both, but also in recovering the tool of the old god, an amber glaive that is now in the hands of Higgins. There was a bit of tension. Give me your cat. Why are you fighting me? Come here, cat. There was a bit of tension. He's sleepy. Not happy. There was a bit of tension between the party and one of the hostages in particular, the Captain Kahuna, who was the head of the guard at Grinnell. There seemed to be some sort of situation involving her and another one of the guards, which she kept restrained and under confinement. You found out later from the fiendish hostage. I think they're just straight up devils. In this setting, I don't think there's the distinction. So I think she is just a devil. Orila,
just a devil.
Just a devil. Orila, who admitted to you all basically that she and the individual Eduardo had been having a little bit of a thing when the lizard folk had attacked, and that is why Kahuna was in such foul mood. The bigger issue than that, I think, though, was the fact that Kahuna seemed very dead set on retribution against the Tlatsiski, which the party was at least nominally against after meeting with Ishtla. Regardless, everyone was able to return to the... not ruins, the outpost isn't ruined, the
ruins forever
of Grinnell.
We raise it to the ground and start anew.
Raise it to the ground, where the remaining survivors were already aboard the unfortunate Scorpion with the rest of your crew. And you were able to begin sailing downriver, leaving Grinnell behind, along with a long row of freshly dug graves. So, as we kind of like move back into the game, this may or may not become a thing. We'll see, but basically you're all headed downriver now. This is going to take a couple of hours. And if you decide there's nothing that you really want to do during this time, we'll just probably flash forward and move on. But as you're heading downriver, you now have a lot more fucking people on this boat than you did when you were coming upriver. So, if you are all in the game and on the particular map, I just used the same map location that we had used previously. But you have your boat, and you have the various people upon said boat. Most of which are below deck now. I did a little bit of noodling around. I've still gotta learn more things about DM Hub and how things work. I spent too long, probably about an hour, hour and a half on stairs, and they did not work the way that I wanted them to, but that is probably a me problem and not a DM Hub problem. So I'm just gonna have to do some studying and working. So instead, I used a thing that I do know works, and that is teleportation ladders. So you may notice there are 2 ladders here above deck that you can see. If you are clicked on your token and you click on one of those ladders, they will teleport you to the adjacent ladder below deck. And you can maneuver around and explore the below deck of the ship, your unfortunate Scorpion, and do things.
No damn
So,
ladders.
anyways,
The ladders. Oh, I found one.
he found one.
Oh, that's jarring.
He found a ladder. So yeah. So as we kind of move into the situation, what I wanted to do is I wanted to ask what everyone's doing. Your crewmates, Chella, Ambrosio, Johan, and Robert are all, performing their normal duties at this current point in time. It is late evening, right? So it's dark. You have lanterns kind of like lighting your way. You're moving downriver faster than you were moving upriver. But you are trying to the general feel is you gotta be kind of cautious going, so you don't run into anything or cause any issues. So it's still gonna take you a couple hours to get back down to the mouth of the Pantano, and to the kind of like town outpost location that is there, Parada, where you'll be able to offload the refugees that you have aboard ship, as well as be able to report in on the status of your mission to the Princeps there, and see what awaits you from that particular situation. So, that being said, does anyone want to be doing anything or having any conversations? This is an opportunity for you to either interact with your crew, interact with each other, or interact, maybe ask some of these individuals questions, maybe get a handle on things, or not. That is entirely up to you. I'm still listening, but I'm walking.
First, I'm cooking.
He's cooking.
We haven't had a good meal in so long.
And you have so much meat.
I feel like everyone's going to be sick of lizard meat.
Wait, we're eating lizards?
What do you mean? We already have.
Is that a normal
This is
thing?
Delicious in Dungeon, the D&D campaign.
Why don't you go on downstairs to your kitchen there, Higgins?
Oh boy, did you give me a fully stocked kitchen?
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
hold
you
on.
absolutely have a fully stocked kitchen. It's not a big kitchen because it's on a boat.
How I go down?
If you
Click.
there you go, click it.
I double click. Okay.
Boom.
Okay.
Your kitchen is right over here.
Ah, yeah, I'm in my kitchen. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What are we working with here? We got 4 stove tops. I got a barrel. I'm assuming we got some grog, some beer, some ale in there.
You
I got
got
some potatoes.
you got whatever you want in this kitchen. Also, if you unfortunately, I didn't design this very well, so this is my bad. But across the way, so you have the like mess hall is in the center, right? But on the opposite side of that is another storage area where all of your surplus is.
Okay. Excellent. Well then I'm gonna get started on.
You start cooking. You're going to draw the attention of one. Obviously, you're going to draw the attention of some hungry people who, now that they are on a boat and sailing downriver away from the immediate danger, and they're no longer having to worry about the immediate risk to their lives, they realize it's been over half a day since they've eaten, and they're probably a little hungry, but also you're going to draw the attention of the person who normally does the cooking, which is Mariona. The big
Mariona?
redhead lady that basically like stepped in to save Blackbird's life when you all were actually like fighting in Grinnell. This is the big red-haired lady who stepped in and basically like clobbered the scale tooth with a pan, and then like shoved a potion down Blackbird's throat.
She cast iron.
Yeah, she cast skillet.
Excellent. Well, I
So,
welcome her to my kitchen. I
she'll-
show her where all my stuff is.
Yeah, she'll like, she won't get up in your grill immediately, but she'll like get in the door, and she's a big woman, and she's just kind of like standing there watching you before she'll like ask if you need a hand. She doesn't want to impose. She knows how
Yeah,
territorial
definitely. I
people
start
can be
tossing
about
her
a
some
kitchen.
veggies and stuff to start prepping.
You can
and
see.
then I head up to the deck and ask for anyone's assistance in catching some fish for the evening.
Oh,
Anyone who
shit.
wants to do some fishing off the side? We'll see what we can get.
See what you can get. Any takers amongst the immediate personnel?
I say yes. A Navy diver answers while called, and I just step over.
Dives in.
The entire ship starts like doing
Righting
Lists.
itself.
You take the 5, I'll take the 4.
Yeah, actually, like as soon as Cobb goes overboard, Robert knows to go down into the hold to shift
And
some
move.
things around. To like lock some things in place because it's like
Anytime Cobb
there's
is walking
some
around, you just hear.
there's some like
All right,
stuff.
Mitch is
shifting
also
around.
1,000 pounds. Okay.
Yeah, we offset each other. When you jump off the boat, it messes everything up.
That's true.
That's
You
very
both have to
fun.
be on opposite like sides
Yeah, I
of
was
the
gonna
ship.
say,
Yeah,
we
we can
always
never
have
one
stand
as
on
we
the same side of the boat.
very funny.
All right, cool. So Cobb up top.
I'll grab a
doing some
rod
fishing.
too. I'll help.
You
In
pick up
fact,
top
I'll-
doing some fishing. Cool.
Yeah, I'll whatever side that Cobb sits on, I'll go with.
Yeah.
And see if we can't catch any fucking freshwater bullshit.
Catch around.
There's my bullshit stuff.
Elroy. Okay.
Could you?
I'm making thought process. What about you, Bansii? What are you up to? Or are you
I'm
just chilling.
I'm gonna talk to her.
You're gonna talk to her. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember who she is. I remember that I was like, I need to talk to her because I need to see if she's gonna kill us all. I kind of
Oh.
felt like she was gonna kill us all.
All right. Okay. So we got a couple of different things going on. Let's start with our fishermen. As Cobb and Uvik get set up, you will be approached by the very kind of like
Next one.
big, like bushy bearded Vaslorian man, who was also in the mess hall when you rescued the citizens, the people of Grinnell. And this guy is like he's like a walking barrel, basically, like in fur trapper kind of like garb, has that kind of like the snow hat scenario going on, is very, very bundled up considering how kind of like muggy and humid the swamp is. But at the same time, like there are insects all over the place and people like constantly having to like swat mosquitoes and shit like that, and he seems completely unaccosted by any of that. And as you two are getting set up to do a little bit of fishing, you see him come up, and he has this satchel that he's wearing, and he reaches into the satchel and pulls
Not
out
fishing.
a stick like a dowel about this long, right? Maybe about a foot and a half long type scenario. And he pulls something like gouges his thumbnail along the side of it a little bit, and kind of like pulls out this little hook, and then as he pulls it out, the whole thing kind of like extends into about a 5.5 foot long fishing rod. But it's like segmented. It's this weird kind of like
collapsing,
telescopic collapsing like
Yeah.
fishing rod scenario. And he's just like, mind if I sit?
You're more than welcome.
No, get off our boat.
And he just kind of like he takes a seat on the railing and just tosses his no bait or anything like that, just tosses the hook
just
into
a
the
hook.
water and just kind of like sits there and just sighs. And he's quiet. He doesn't like
He knows something we don't know.
he doesn't engage with you unless you're looking to engage with him, but he is just this kind of like presence that is like, oh, other people are fishing? Okay, I won't look weird if I go on deck and start just like sitting here fishing now.
Sorry, I don't think we've properly met. What was your name?
He looks over, reaches out with a big ol' hand, like a bear glove of a hand, and grunts, "I'm Hunneld."
Arnold, and while still holding on to my rod with two hands, I stick out another one and shake it.
Oh, he'll point, he'll be like, "That's pretty useful." He looks down. I only got the two. Unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to help get any more fish up on the boat.
Grunts. We could put a second rod in your hands.
Yeah, I suppose. And
Really,
if
it
I've
should be
got,
in my sous
le-
chef
like,
with
if
all
I
those
knew we were
hands.
gonna do some fit, like, if we went down and talked to Higgins about fishing, I would have been like, "You got some like cubed like cutaways we can use for bait? You know, like flesh or like if you got an excess amount of lizard meat."
I give him several lizard tail tips.
Okay, so I'll cut up some
That's fucked up.
bits of that, and I'll just like hand them to Cobb. And I'm sorry, I already forgot his name.
Himdall? No.
You see, he doesn't seem to need the bait that much.
No.
His hook is in the water for all of about 45 seconds before he gets a bite. And very casually starts to just like there's no reel or anything on this. It's just a pole
Yeah, it's
and
just
a
a-
line, right? So he just kind of like tests it, and then this big barrel of a man, like almost kind of like anime, suddenly stands up, roars, and just yanks upward,
Right.
and a decent sized fish flies up into the air, just having been yoinked out of the fucking river and falls onto the deck. Still hooked. Still, he has to walk over there and kind of like unhook it. And there's like a little barrel that you guys, or a little bucket that you all are using to like collect the fish
Yeah.
in the meantime. He just tosses it in there and very like casually sits back down. Same thing. Quietly.
That seems a very effective method that I have not seen very often.
Hook's enchanted.
Ah. That would do it. I thread another piece of like meat on my hook.
He grunts. he like looks at what you're doing and he nods and he says, "It's good. When you've been living outdoors as much as me, you get it's worth it to pay for the things that make everything else a little."
I'm into that. How you holding up? It's been kind of a rough day, hasn't it?
Nods, says, his eyes go kind of like big, like he's like thinking about some of the things that he's seen or heard today. He's
Suppress
like,
the memories. Suppress the memories.
yeah, that was a rough one. One for the books, I guess.
Yeah.
He's got like a far off look. like a this isn't his first rodeo look, and what he's seeing probably isn't necessarily today look. Like, he is Yuvik, you're traveled. You're able to kind of like identify these things. Obviously, none of you are from around here, right? But the majority of the people that are in Little Ix are Riohan, are from capital, right? Like, that is the major like national power or cultural power that has dominated this location, especially considering the world events that are happening at this current time. He is like through and through Vaslorian, like looks Vaslorian, dresses Vaslorian, speaks Vaslorian, right? Like very accented Kalian, and he sticks out like a sore thumb amongst the people here. But at the same time, of all these people, he probably looks the most at home in an environment like this, right? Like you hear Ambrosio across the way kind of like cursing, muttering under his breath because he is getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, right? Like everyone is annoyed with how hot and humid it is. Everyone's sweating. Everyone has swamp ass, except for maybe Bansii because she's dead and she doesn't feel temperatures, I think. Right? Like it's
I mean, just because you don't feel it.
it's not a pleasant environment, right? But this guy is just like seems completely unfazed by any of it, seems completely at home in the environment. Like this is his job, this is his lifestyle, and it is. So yeah.
I'll look over to Cobb.
I'm
So,
off
so,
the boat. How are you looking at me?
Yeah.
You're off?
Cobb,
Okay.
Cobb isn't fishing with you. That's why I gave you a fishing partner. Sorry.
Oh.
Cobb jumped off the boat. Presumably
Alright.
he tied a rope around his waist or some shit like that. I
You know,
don't
I
fucking
grabbed the
know.
rope. Whatever.
Wouldn't that
He's
just
like-
stop the entire boat?
He's a few hundred yards back.
He's hand fishing. He's getting like mussels and freshwater clams and shit or some. I don't fucking know.
What's that called? Like, gigging?
Yeah, he's frog gigging.
No, he's raw gigging.
Which you don't do underwater, but whatever.
I mean, you can jump off the boat and try and talk if you want, but
No, you do your thing, brother.
Sorry, I should have clarified. That was the
thought
reason
we were-
why I
thought
gave
we
you
were talking- I was talking
a
through
fishing
Cobb the
buddy.
entire time being rude.
No.
no.
All right,
Ugh.
moving on. Bansii, when you get it in your mind to come and speak to the devil lady, she is up at the bowsprit, kind of just like looking the way you're all going downriver. And she doesn't look melancholy or anything like that. She's kind of like leaning against the railing up there, and she keeps just kind of like humming to herself and snapping her fingers. And every time she snaps her fingers, you see this little like, it's less of a spark and it's more of like a butane torch kind of like scenario, right? Like just come out of her finger, right? And unless you're trying to be stealthy, she
I am
sees
not.
you approaching, and she just kind of like gives you a toothy grin and nods at you as you come speak to her.
Yeah, I'll approach. I won't say anything or acknowledge her nod, and then I will say to her that it would be ill-advised to try and hurt us in any way because I will have to kill her.
She nods and says that would be ill-advised. I have no reason to do that at all.
I don't know if I believe you.
That's unfortunate. I honestly would have presumed we would have been more kindred spirits, considering. And she kind of like, when she says considering, she looks you up and down.
Considering that I'm dead?
And from Capital, yes.
I don't have many friends.
Being
Wow,
a
you
devil
have
from
conversations
Capital,
like that.
I also don't have many friends.
I don't really remember. I don't remember why I was so suspicious of her. I'm trying to remember last time she said and did some things that really bothered me.
She was very flirty, but also
Lily's
very
notes just say suspicious.
suspicious.
Make sure that you call her out for her shit. Yeah.
She was very flirty, but also very like obviously antagonistic towards Kona, right? And she didn't try to do anything underhanded, but it's just the way in which she like she'll approach people and whisper talk to them, and she'll say things that are, you know, that implicate particular things, right? So she comes off as kind of a quintessential devilish charismatic figure type scenario.
Suspicious.
Aside from that, you know, right, like, because like it was discussed or whatever, that she was having a little bit of a fling with Eduardo when the lizards attacked, but also she basically flame striked a big old ball of those lizards and left a pile of tar outside of Grinnell, right? So you know she is dangerous and also potentially a bit of a schemer. That might be
and it
the
was
reason,
the agency
right?
of chaos, right? Like I kind of felt like she was okay or indifferent about what was happening, and I think that's what I was like really triggered by. So I'm trying to decide.
She seemed extremely nonchalant about the fact that a guy, when you all rescued her, she seemed extremely nonchalant about the fact that you were all rescuing everyone and that a guy had just been murder sacrificed on an altar in front of her.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So I just told her that I don't really have any friends. You didn't seem too upset by who I thought were your friends being sacrificed ritualistically on the altar.
Oh, a misunderstanding, really. I would not say that I had any friends in Grinnell. There were a couple of individuals that I thought were good people and were friendly acquaintances. The Coronels are good people. The Arroyos are good people. There were a few others here or there. I am saddened by the loss of some of them. I am not saddened by the loss of others, because they were, quite frankly, assholes. So, you know.
There.
An
And
asshole.
she says that to you just, like, matter-of-factly, right? Like, very unapologetically.
Okay. Well, as long as you understand that if you try and hurt us, I will kill you, I think we're on good terms.
I could not fathom a situation that seems likely to happen where it would pit you and I against one another.
The situation makes no difference to me.
Well, situations are kind of what make
Are
the things happen.
inevitable.
Situations! God damn it. I hate you.
I thought for sure you were going to do it anyway.
No, that was not my intention. She stumbles a bit, right? I have no quarrel with you or yours. You have rescued me, and you are seeing me safely back to civilization. The only scenario in which I could envision myself set against you is if you, for some reason, decided to set yourself against me. And that, I have no idea why that would be the case.
I'd like to shoot at her.
You'd like to shoot at her?
Alright, well, I guess let's fucking do this thing.
Raw steel.
The bowsprit is about to erupt in flames. Let's go.
Woohoo!
I mean, we played enough Sea of Thieves. We know how to handle a fire.
That's right. That's right.
I don't. I specifically have not.
I mean, you're underwater right now. You're fine.
No, you're right. I won't let you on.
I hope it doesn't come to that, and
I
then
don't-
I will just walk away. Right? Like I just wanted to make sure that that was clear.
She like starts to respond and sees you just like turn and leave, and is just like, okay.
Goodbye.
Oh goodness. Bob.
Don't shoot her.
Hello.
Under the river. Under the river. Do you legitimately like take a lash yourself to the railing and jump into the river? Are you
Yes.
going diving mode?
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. Just make a power roll for me.
Don't you have to prompt me? How do I do that?
No,
Anytime.
up in the top left, if you see all of those dice, if you just click the power roll scenario.
You might have to enable that tool.
You might have to enable that tool by going to
If
your
you go
settings
to
and
panels and
setting
dice.
dice, panels,
Yep.
dice.
It'll
it's
give
in
you
the lower-
1d3,
it's in the
1d6.
Sorry. I
Okay.
moved it to the top left. That's my bad.
I probably-
Hey, okay, a 13. 13 is a tier 2 result.
I feel like it should be more than that because I'm a very proficient diver.
We'll give you a +2. Yeah, we'll
I will
say it's a
accept that.
15. 15's still a
Doesn't
tier 2
add.
result, unfortunately.
I'll
It's-
take what I can get. I don't care.
It's very murky down here. It's nighttime, but also it's a river, so there's a lot of
I tap my headlamp and I turn it on.
there's a lot of plant matter down here.
I'm not kidding. I have a headlamp.
Oh, I'm fine with that. And it's especially with your headlamp, you're a trundling tethered dwarf on a riverbed. The things that are not afraid of you, the things that don't immediately swim the fuck away from you, aren't the nicest things. While everyone else is up on the boat having potentially like tense conversations or having just like a casual fishing time or down below cooking or recuperating or whatever, Cobb is down below the boat in the river having a war for the ages, committing genocide against a swarm of river eels that have decided that this dwarf has to die. And when you eventually come back out, it is with a blob of carcasses, but also with many eels still attached to your stony body, still trying their damnedest to bite through your flesh to pretty much no avail, basically.
I report to the kitchen.
With the eel still flopping on his back where he can't reach.
That's correct.
In the meantime, Higgins, what are you cooking? What's the play here with you and Mariona?
What do we got for ingredients? I heard something about an eel, but my internet was cutting out.
You're gonna have a couple of different river fish from Hunold and Uvik, and then you're gonna have a shit ton of river eels from Cobb.
Eels.
Okay.
And then you have whatever the like what you all have stocked on board the Scorpion is entirely up to you.
The Scorpion.
Well, I'm sure we got some various like veggies and stuff like that. So I think we're going to grill up some unagi, and we're gonna have a teriyaki glaze for it.
Oh, eel sauce?
Yep, we're gonna have some eel sauce.
Oh.
We'll also... Do we got rice? I'm gonna look through the pantry, see if we got some rice.
If you want there to be rice, then there's rice. If you want there to be a conflict of there not being rice, there's a conflict because there's not rice.
I send Cobb back out to get me some seaweed from the river. And
some
bring it up
river
real quick.
weed?
From river
Yep,
weed.
some river weed. We gotta dry that out real quick. Put it over the fire, dry it out quick. Well, we're gonna cook up some river fish sushi rolls.
Mariana is like, at first, she is with you in the kitchen, and she is capable of doing just about anything that you ask of her. And then you start in on this shit, and she's like, what?
It's all right. I'll show you. For now,
Okay.
keep the rice going. When Cobb brings back the seaweed, hanging over the flames, not far enough where it's not going to catch.
You
but
have like a
close enough
little
where it's gonna dry
rack.
out.
You have like a whole
rack over the
fucking
fire.
rack up there, I think, for like
Yes, you can.
typically for drying out meat and shit like that. But
Yes,
I
yeah.
mean, whatever.
Yep, we gotta dry out the seaweed so we can use it as a paper wrap.
These things are gonna be gummy as shit.
Yeah, they are, but I'm working with what I got, okay? I'm a
You're-
master chef. I will make it work.
You're trying to dry this river weed out fast. This shit's gonna be gummy as fuck.
We got magic. I summon
Yeah,
Bansii in
fucking
here.
magic.
Make this
Employ the
seaweed,
cooking
make this
magic.
seaweed so sad it cries all the wetness out of it.
Where did Bansii?
I got stuck down below decks in the dining room with this dude. I can't move my token anymore, so I was like, I wasn't gonna mention it until I was called on.
Does that
Was
help?
special?
Can you move
I'm
now?
stuck somewhere.
No, I can't move.
Let me delete you and re-add you. Maybe that'll fix it.
Okay. It's
See-
fine. I was like,
see if
I'll
that
just
works.
talk to this guy. It's fine. I
Let's
got
talk to
stuck
this
here.
guy. Okay. food is being made. There isn't a need necessarily for us to talk to like everyone, but are there other interactions? Do you all want to speak to any particular individuals or do any particular things before you make it back to civilization?
Not.
Up to you. You got the scenarios with Kauno and Eduardo. You have the scenario with just Kauno being Kauno. You have Arila. You have the various individuals that you rescued. Blackbird, by the way, this entire time is relatively silent, but is kind of like taking on a caretaker role for the remnants of the people of Grinnell. Like, she's the one who, like, comes to each of you and is like, hey, do you have this? Hey, is there a place to put this person? Where can I get this for this person? Blah, 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 blah. Right? Like, she seems to be the one who is actually, like, while Kauno is very focused on keeping the captive Eduardo basically away from everyone. Blackbird's the only other guardsman or fucking bar mariner that's up and about doing shit. So she's the one actually taking care of these people. But like I said, right? Like this is a what do y'all want to do? This isn't like there's no mandatory thing or anything like that.
Actually, I'm gonna head over to the port side.
Ambrosio!
And I'll come up to Ambrosio, be like,
He'll grunt and be like, Quad Captain, how's it going?
Mr.
He
Olden?
calls all of you Quad Captain, by the way. But when he calls Yuvik Quad Captain, he specifically looks at all four of your arms.
Oh, cute.
But he calls you all Quad Captain because he doesn't know which one of you to call Captain.
It's better to
you
stay
all-
ambiguous.
Yeah, you all have made it intentionally ambiguous on who actually runs the ship.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Olben, remember when I asked you to stay behind and take care of everybody? How'd that go? Is everybody in here safe and sound?
Yes, Quad Captain. Everyone is safe. It was honestly a non-issue and quite depressing. They just came and we sat there for a while, and then the blonde elf lady said perhaps they should dig graves, and then several of them started to do that, and I helped, and it was sad. But it was success, yes?
Well, I appreciate your help in the matter. It's probably great that you didn't come. There was a lot more sadness the further in we went. Very dangerous.
If I had been there, it could have been less sad, yes. And he makes like a little swishing movement with his hand as if like he would have, and then this is a teenager. This is a teenager, Raiden White. Probably shouldn't be here, honestly. Not positive that he didn't lie on whatever paperwork he filled out to actually get on board this vessel. But he wants to be a hero. He wants to be a hero. He wants to be a hero, and he looks at you and he sees a hero.
You know, I first started sailing around your age.
Around my age, so you started late. Like me.
It wasn't late.
You started late.
There's plenty of time. There's a lot of sea out there.
He kind of like mutters and grumbles and gestures to the river and is like, "Oh yes, so much sea."
This is a river.
And that's my point. We spend half the time upriver, downriver, upriver, downriver.
Well, I mean, you might not always be with Verona. You may find yourself on another ship with another captain.
I am loyal to House Verona.
You don't hear
That's-
that, dude.
And that's very honorable. But
He looks you up and down with just a hint of suspicion. That kind of like hint of suspicion of like, he'll forget about this in an hour hint of suspicion.
yeah, I'll look at him and be like, maybe you'll even be a pirate. And I'll wink at him and I'll walk away.
Are you a pirate?
He stammers. He was a pirate. He stammers a little bit, and he like scoffs, and he's just like, you hear him like protesting, like, but the protests die out pretty quickly, and if you look back at him every once in a while, you can see he's kind of like fantasizing about what it would be to be like a pirate, but he's not thinking of a pirate. He's thinking of like a swashbuckling heroic pirate that is an anti-pirate, really. He's thinking of a one-piece good pirate kind of scenario. A pirate fighting other pirates. Alright, anybody else? Things, thoughts, ideas? Alright. Sounds like a plan.
I guess while I'm cooking with can't remember her name. You told it to me before.
Mariona!
Mariona. I'll just kind of idly chat with her, trying to get the skinny on the lizards that had been previously friends but suddenly attacked. Ask if there's any lead up to it. Just try to see if what's the general vibe of everybody else from the outpost on
Yeah,
the lizard
okay.
tribes.
So rather than play out a conversation and get like mixed information or anything like that, I'll just kind of like spit out deets that she would fill you in on according to her, right? She and her husband Jose have been running the mess hall. He's kind of like the quartermaster when it comes to like food and more like of those type of supplies, whereas the Arroyos are the ones who run like the gear, weapons, etc. side of the Grinnell outpost. And then Mariona is the one who actually runs like the mess hall. She cooks for everyone in the outpost, etc., etc. They've been there for about a year, which is almost as long as that outpost has existed, basically, right?
Yeah.
Because the Little Ix, like the archipelago, surfaced or appeared about 2 years ago, right? So this is all very new. And according to her, relations with the Tlatsiski have always been what she would refer to as good. And she says it with that kind of like that upturned good, right? Kind of like scenario in the way that all of or most of the Tetzcoatl, the lizard folk on the islands are standoffish and isolated and suspicious of the colonialist newcomers that are showing up on their islands. Big surprise, right? But of all of them, the Tlatsiski have a pretty good reputation for being friendly and willing to trade, etc., etc. There were minor altercations in the beginning, and there are always like random events where an explorer or archaeologist or raider goes somewhere that they have been explicitly told not to go, and that ends up with a problem or them dead, and then someone wants to make a stink about it, etc., etc. She doesn't know all of the specific details, but the Tletziski have like an accord with House Verona, right? That stipulates their territory and their rights to defend their territory against specific individuals, etc., against encroachment, and that has led to some issues with some people who have money that want to throw money around and be like, well, actually, we should be able to do yada yada yada, and House Verona has shut that down every single time, as far as Mariona knows, right? Like she is the lady who runs a mess hall, so she's hearing through most of this from merchants and explorers and the guards at Grinnell, right? So this is all like secondhand information to her. But as far as she is aware, there wasn't really any real lead up to this, other than there were pretty consistent like communications between the Tletziski and Grinnell up until about 2.5 weeks ago. And it's not like everything went completely radio silent, but it was to the point to where Tletziski would come to Grinnell and trade, and then all of a sudden about 2.5 weeks ago they just stopped. And that in and of itself isn't like, it's not like that's never happened before, but it would be a couple days in the past, right? Like no Tletziski show up for a couple days and then a couple show up to trade some stuff. That type of situation. So that is the only warning sign that she thinks exists, in accordance to her. And as far as she is aware, again, gossip, right? As far as she is aware, no one stumbled into any places that they weren't supposed to go recently, right? Like, Hunold is an explorer. She knows a couple of other individuals. One of the men that died, what the fuck was his name? Iker was kind of like an adventurer style individual, explorer individual. And she hadn't heard any rumors or gossip from either of them about anything happening. The only thing that she will say that has kind of disturbed the peace, and you can tell she's kind of like trying not to gossip about this, but kind of wants to, is that Aurela showed up about a month and a half ago. Or she showed up a month and a half ago, and that caused a lot of tensions in the outpost. And there wasn't anything that anyone could do about it. She has a charter. All adventurers and explorers are supposed to have a charter to do what they do in the territories that they do it in. So she has a charter. She didn't explicitly do anything wrong or against the rules, but she caused a lot of tension over the last month or so by being a flirt, basically, and getting under some people's skin.
Four.
Okay.
Mariona,
So-
wait,
so-
and Mariona is doing that thing where a gossip wants to gossip but doesn't want to come off as a gossip when she's dropping like little pieces of information here or there to see if you're gonna bite and gossip with her, kind of situation.
Gotcha. Okay. So like generally it doesn't seem like this was led up to and a long time coming, more of an isolated event.
This seems shocking and surprising. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely not. There was no long history of, oh yeah, we showed up and we killed like 40 Tlatsiski and they've harbored that grudge against us for a long time, and oh, we took part of their ancestral land. No, none of that, right? Like, explorers chartered by House Verona came upriver, met with the Tlatsiski, hashed out like a, hey, we're these people. We've met with these other clans. Do you have a place where we could set up an outpost? Are there places we shouldn't go? Like, it was the it feels wrong saying this. It's the best version of colonialism you can imagine, right? Like, it's the we want the shit here, and we will probably in 100 years have consumed all of your cultures into our own, but we're trying to do it in as friendly and innocuous a way as possible.
Gotcha. Okay. Gracias.
Anybody else? Talk to anybody else? Do anything else?
I'll approach Captain Quono, and
He has been above deck this entire time.
Yeah.
She has manacled Eduardo to the railing of the fuck, what's it called? Was that the forecastle?
Scorpion?
Up where the wheel is, right? Like, she's manacled, she's shackled him to the stairs that go up there, right?
Right.
I've already forgotten all of my nautical terms, all of my boat terms.
I think they're
all gone.
Stairs.
No, well, yeah, but what's the part up there where Johann is at the wheel? I think that's the forecastle.
I think it's inboard. I think.
I don't know. I don't fucking know. Whatever. She has commandeered a box, a crate, right? And she is just sitting on it near the stairs that lead down into the interior of the vessel. Just within arm's reach of Eduardo the entire time.
You settled in, Captain? You all right? You need anything?
A repast would be wonderful for me and the prisoner when it is available.
Yeah, I think we're working on that.
She nods.
And I'll like kick an eel off board that didn't make it down.
It's just this one fucking eel that detached itself from Cobb that's like across the fucking deck.
I'll look at I'll just glance over at Eddie. How's he doing? Like, does he look like he's miserable?
He looks miserable, yes. He also looks like, how to say this? He looks like a man consigned to his fate. He looks like a guy who has dealt with this woman for an extended period of time and is so over it that he's just like, okay.
And if I can kind of read that like, you know, he's
with
really...
a mix, with a healthy dose of like, better than being dead, I guess.
Yeah. I'll look over to him and then back to the captain. I'll be like, I mean, we have a brig below deck if you want to offload him and not have to monitor him.
She looks at you and nods and says, "If you will escort us and ensure that food is brought to us when it's available, I will monitor him there."
Sure. And we'll just head below deck.
I moved the ship.
That was the entire ship. That's what happens when Higgins and Cobb are on the same side.
Yeah.
And I believe the brig is. Oh,
I'm
that's
firing.
it's a kind of a weird angle to try to.
Ugh,
I can't. I can't.
ugh. Wait, do these walls not? These walls not? What do you mean? That's not how that works.
I can. Oh, I'm wedged.
It literally says. All right. Well,
all right.
so this is
All right,
a
it's
part
better
of.
if you open the doors.
It's better if you open the doors. This is a part of me learning to build in fucking whatchamacallit. Turn on this light. But yeah. Anyways,
It is a.
I will.
Right.
I will never. I will never again put a vessel like this with walls on a map at an angle. Because my
Yeah,
God,
I
it
think,
has
I
been.
think the angle is what's doing it.
It has been a pain in my ass. Every. I hope you're all ready. In the future, if you're on the ocean and we have like a ship battle or anything like that, you're all going to be facing a cardinal direction. The boat is going to be going north, south, east, or west. There will be no angles.
That's honestly perfectly fine. Also, I'm gonna leave my light in here because apparently,
No, there's a light on the wall.
without it, it's just.
There, move you. There's a light on the wall. It's just dark.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There are throughout the entirety of the below decks of the unfortunate Scorpion, there are like little arcane lights, little arcane lanterns on most of the rooms and in most of the hallways.
Also, I think I am all the way stuck.
Oh, I'm all the way stuck.
That. Well,
Let's just get you out of this hellscape.
Oh God.
Let's just
Apparently
get you out of this hellscape. And I will learn my lesson to in the future not build at angles. Another noteworthy thing, I think, Higgins, there is like a big old wash basin, like sink with a pump, etc., thing in your kitchen. And as you are putting things into that location, as you and Mariona are cooking, there's a little scrub brush that flies up into the air. The sink automatically turns on, and whatever you put into that sink levitates up, and this floating scrub brush slowly starts to scrub at whatever that thing is.
My fucking dream. I get to cook and not do dishes.
Now, unfortunately, it's slow. It doesn't keep up with you. It's kind of like it's the bargain bin enchantment, cleaning enchantment. That also
Hey,
exists.
I'll take it.
That also exists throughout the entirety of the vessel. There is a single like floating what are those things called? Like a feather duster that floats throughout the entirety of the ship, and like dusts throughout the ship. And there's like one or two other like minorly enchanted items that are supposed to clean the ship so that the quite frankly, very small crew of the vessel can actually do all of the other things that you're supposed to be doing. They don't do very well, though. So it's like the scenario of it's all they do is they take a little bit of the edge off of the overall cleaning like requirements throughout the unfortunate Scorpion. When you're cooking, it's kind of like the scenario of like, if you use 10 things, it might have cleaned like 4 or 5 of the things by the time you get to actually cleaning. And they'll be like 85% of the way clean. You know?
Fair. Okay.
Anyways. Okay. Unless anyone else has anything else that they would like to do, or anyone they would like to speak to, we'll move forward.
Move forward.
Cobb, get back on the boat. The boat lurches.
Oh my.
It-
back.
It is well past. It is very, very late, or depending on your definition, very, very early. By the time you make it down the Puntano to the settlement at the mouth of the river, Parada. It is a small. It's a township, probably is the rough size of it. I haven't looked at what sizes actually qualify for things. But it's probably got about 3,000 people. Probably a good half of those 3,000 are not what you would refer to as permanent residents. They're guards that are rotated in and out. They're adventurers. They're explorers. They're merchants coming and going, etc., etc. So, of a town of about 3,000, probably only about 1,000 or 1,500-ish are actually there, like living there, setting up shop there, etc., etc. Most of them are coming and going. That being said, it is one of the bigger settlements of non-natives in Little Ix. It is it's nowhere near the largest settlement, but it is one of the bigger ones. Pouso is significantly larger over on the westernmost island. It's probably closer to like 15 to 20,000 people. It's an actual city, but it and only one other location on Little Ix are actual like cities in that kind of regard. Most of the others are in the size of Parada or significantly smaller, right? As you come into this town, I say come into it, it's kind of an awkward location. The township itself is not built in a place in which it would probably make sense to put a permanent lasting settlement. In fact, as you're coming downriver, probably about an hour upriver from where Parada is currently, there's construction efforts and forest clearing and stuff like that going on in a location upriver to make a more fortified permanent settlement aside from Parada. So Parada is this small township. It's got wooden palisades throughout the majority of it, and then on the kind of like northwest side, because it's on the western edge of this island. So on the northwest side of it is kind of a shanty town, really, of just small huts and wooden refuse and stuff like that that's put together, where a bunch of people who have fallen on the wrong side of the law, or maybe don't have charters to do the things they're doing, or congregate, right? and that is frowned upon by the Navy and House Verona. But it is also seen as a means to an end because the Fulcrum is also making for a power grab in Little Ix, and if House Verona comes down with an ironclad fist on all of the people that are here doing things illegally, well, then they have a place to go, and that is the Fulcrum. So rather than bolster the Fulcrum's forces, certain places in Little Ix are being a little lax in their enforcement of rules. Most of what you would potentially be interested in Parada is within the Palisades, within the actual township itself, but that depends on what you all decide you want to do while you're here. The only thing you need to do while you're here, other than offload the refugees that you have brought here, is to meet with the Princeps, which is the head of the military force here in Parada. And for clarity, Captain Kouno does not outrank you. The Princeps absolutely does outrank you. So keep that in mind, right? That is definitely a ranking scenario. So the only thing you need to do here in Parada, other than offload the people you've rescued, is report to the Princeps on the status of your mission. And at that point in time, the Princeps, if they have something they need you to do, has the authority to commandeer you to do it. And if they don't have something they need you to do, you get sent back to main base to have someone else higher up the flagpole tell you what to do. That's basically your lives here in Little Ix. Often what happens is the Princeps of one particular location says, hey, I need you to go do this thing over in this place. And you go do that thing, and then at that place, the next Princeps says, great, you did that thing, wonderful, I'll send confirmation to this other person to tell them that that thing's been taken care of. In the meantime, I need you to go do this thing, and that's pretty much your lives. Until you get to a Princeps that says, yeah, I don't need you for anything, go back to Pouso. And the consul there, probably not the consul is going to talk to you, but someone who takes orders from the consul is going to then tell you what to do, right? So, you will get into the town, or make it to the docks. You have to actually exit the Pantano, actually go out to sea a little bit and come back around. There's not really a natural harbor where Parada currently is, but you can't really dock on the river docks. They're made for significantly smaller vessels. So you actually have to just anchor out a ways from the edge of the river mouth and then bring boats in, basically. And that will be how you go about doing that. It's going to be in the middle of the night, so you can wait until morning if you would like to do that. No one, by the time you all get to Parada, most of your refugees are sleeping. They're passed out. They have been fed. They have been rescued. They had their wounds have been tended for many of them. And none of them is just like, oh God, get me on shore, I have to get off this boat. So they are willing to wait for your, hey, get off my boat kind of moment. So, assuming that you don't kick everyone off in the middle of the night, morning comes, you're anchored outside of Parada. I don't know that you guys have, there's probably like a dinghy that you have on board that you can hoist over the side and get into. It's probably big enough for like 4 or 5 people, so you can start doing that. But you can also just hail smaller vessels to come along board and hitch a ride into Parada with your refugees.
I'm about to do that.
So yeah, that's that happens. There's no like fighting or negotiation or anything like that matters there. It would probably be about mid-morning before you are able to deposit the people. The Coronels and the Arroyos are gracious and thankful for you rescuing them, for saving them. Eduardo is immediately and briskly taken away by Kauno. She does not dilly-dally. She does give you a, not a begrudging thanks, but a very curt, like, thanks for doing your job, kind of like thanks, type scenario of like, oh, you did your duty, good job, thank you, right? But it's not in like a sassy or ash-holeless way. It's just very flat, right? The only people that kind of hang around are Blackbird and Orilla. And probably Hunnel, right? Hunnel and one of the other men, Biel, are kind of like hanging out nearby, talking. Biel doesn't really seem like he's thankful, very, very happy to be alive. But he's also like, these are soldiers, these are people doing their job. I'm not gonna bother them. Hunnel is kind of hanging out a little bit, right? Like, he watches Eduardo get taken away by Kauno, and he's kind of like, he's very obviously like curious, and he keeps looking over at Orilla, and he keeps looking over at y'all, but he's also not like getting in your way or anything like that. Orilla is staying like 10 feet away from you all at all times. And Blackbird, the blonde elf that you rescued, right? That was standing in the doorway to protect those people. She when Kauno leaves, she tells Blackbird and Teo, the only other living guardsman. Teo is not a far mariner. He's just a guardsman, right? So Kauno just tells him to go report to a particular individual, right? And then he'll be reassigned. Blackbird's a far mariner, right? So Kauno kind of like looks at Blackbird and grunts, but doesn't tell her to do anything. And Blackbird is just kind of like hanging out near you all, keeping an eye on you and keeping an eye on Orilla, while Orilla is very obviously like kind of hanging on y'all.
I'll walk up to Blackbird. She had her like leg busted up pretty good, right?
She had a lot of her busted up pretty good, but her leg was majorly injured, which was one of the reasons why she couldn't come with you in the hostage rescue. So yeah, she's kind of limping around.
I'll like kind of gesture and how you recovering?
It will take a little bit of time. That time could be expedited by a skilled healer, which I'm not sure that. When she says skilled healer, she doesn't mean like the healing that you do.
Better than a conduit.
Well, the healing that you do is like divine healing. It's like, oh, a blade just cut through your chest and I'm literally like forcing the power of my god into your body to immediately re-knit those wounds, right? Like, when she says healer, she means like a doctor, right? Like, go to a doctor,
Fucking smooth save, bro.
get the boats or get the bones set, right? Like, make sure there's no infection. You're like a combat medic where you like shove endorphins into someone and say, get up and keep fighting, right? Like,
In the name of the Lord.
she means like I'll need to fucking like get some bed rest and type of shit.
She's talking about some good old-fashioned PTO.
Unless I visit a healer that is perhaps more skilled or something like that, and I'm not sure that there is such an individual in Parada.
More skilled than me. Interesting.
I'm sorry. I know you said this earlier, but where are we reporting back?
So you are in a small town on this
we're in
easternmost island, Parada. The main base of House Verona is on the westernmost island. That's Poso. So
well, then I will mention
if this Princeps doesn't tell you to do anything, you go back to Poso, and that's the big city in Little X, basically.
Okay. Well, I will mention that, you know, plan is to head to Pozo. That'd be... I don't know if how many, you know, the efficacy of doctors in that area, but if you'd like to go there, that's where we're heading next.
You would accept passage?
Of course. Yeah, I mean, you're one of us.
She nods. I will see if the Princeps will allow me the leave to do so.
By their authority.
And like she says that and then kind of like nods past you to Orilla as she asked for passage.
I don't know.
Not
actually.
yet. Where are you heading? And I'll turn to her.
Like Blackbird doesn't say it in earshot of Urila.
Oh, then
like
I'll
she
say,
says it more quietly.
Yeah.
She has Urila asked for passage.
And I'll say I should probably go find that out.
If she hasn't yet, she's going to.
I mean,
Okay.
all right. All right.
You are captains of your own vessels? Or your own
We
vessel,
are.
yes? Then you have the authority to offer passage to civilians, should you choose.
All right. Well,
As long
if
as
you need
they are not
anything-
enemies of House Verona.
Right. Well, if you need anything, let me know. Keep off that leg.
She grunts,
I'm obfuscating.
standing on the leg, and she kind of like
Crunch.
shrugs and like limps away from you towards
It collapses under her like an accordion.
Like it's not broken, but it's probably like fractured or something like that, right? Like it's one of those like
Just hear
clearly quite painful
It's
scenarios.
like hollow snap just
Yeah.
behind me.
So she limps off to go take care of her business. And go ahead.
I'll go address Aurelia. Aurelia?
Orilla.
Orilla. Okay.
Aurelia.
Aurelia.
A gorilla.
Guerrilla.
How
Actually,
many
A gorilla.
Yeah, how many H's? That's a great question. Specifically, how many H's?
Yeah,
Very important.
it's, somewhere in there.
I'll step
Zero
up.
H's, by the way. 0 H's.
Lie again.
Lie
You're
again.
not capable of that.
Zero
There's
H's
not a
there.
goddamn
0
chance in hell
H's
you're capable of not
there.
having any
0
H's in your
H's
name.
there. Okay, there's one
To be
H.
fair, Jeremy
There-
might not have made these characters.
There's an H in
Oh,
Johan.
it doesn't matter.
I made
That's
We would-
why.
we
I
would
made all these
change it.
characters. Go fuck yourself.
I don't know.
I don't
This isn't an
know.
advent. This isn't like a pre-made adventure. I made all these characters. Fuck
Pact
you.
made in
Stop.
amber.
Yeah, this is my adventure. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
the pack made in
I don't believe you.
amber.
Pact
AMH.
made-
Amber.
Amber.
made in Hamburg. Terrible. You turn to Aurelia, and she just gives you a big toothy smile.
Oh yeah.
So, what's your plan?
Hey, girl.
You heading anywhere in particular?
Oh, well. Kind of like looks around. I don't really want to stay here, especially not if Kono gets her way.
She seems like a person that gets that often.
She seems like a person who thinks she should get that often, but doesn't get it often enough for her tastes.
Well, then she's in for a hard life.
Aren't we all?
Not wrong.
Yes.
Anyways, we're unless ordered otherwise, we're heading to sorry, what was it? Parova?
Pouso.
Pouso. God, these words
Europa.
are going
Welcome
to take
to
a
my
while
life and having to like use different languages. I just want to be
Pouso.
like Port Joan. Fucking I don't
Welcome to
know.
my life, says man who designed names.
Look,
Like,
yes, I made the wait, hold up. So I didn't make the names previously, but now I made the names? What is this horse
whichever
shit?
one suits me at the time is how it happened.
This is fucked up. This is fucked up.
I stop there. As the
Look,
great
man.
Michelle Hughes would say, life's a bitch and then you die.
Pretty sure that's the
But
entirety
yeah,
of the South just
we're
says that.
gonna head to Pouso and
Oh, also the north. My mom's very familiar with
Oh,
that.
is that okay? That's just an
If life's a bitch and then you
everywhere.
die. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
The Michelle special is it's all about choices.
go. That is the Michelle.
It's all about
Actually, I forgot
choices.
about that.
You do
Yeah.
anything in existence, and she'll just give you that look and say that phrase. It's all about choices. And
Yeah.
it's just like disappointed.
She didn't give a shit what you do, just as long as you're willing to live with it.
All about choices. Anyway, sorry,
Anyway,
got
no,
distracted.
you're
Aurelia is like, oh, Pouso. Interesting, very interesting. And what are you doing there?
reporting back.
Justice.
Ah,
Okay.
the life of a soldier sailor. Sailor soldier? Do you all consider yourselves foremost sailors or foremost soldiers?
Butler.
Former, at least for me.
Oh, so it's just different between each of you. It's not like
I mean-
a clan creed, like you know.
I am not my comrades, and my comrades are not me.
Ooh, interesting.
I am actually Uvik.
I
One
also
body,
am
one
you.
mind.
I am
You're-
also Juve.
You're both missing two sets of arms if you're this man.
No,
You just can't
together we
see 'em.
have enough arms.
Oh, combined you are a Uvik. I guess that makes
Right.
sense.
Now I'm
And
just
she
imagining
like
Cobb
she
and
like
Higgins
points up and
as a
down like
fucking
We're gonna combine.
we're gonna combine.
Now we're 2,000
Now
pounds.
you're-
No,
we are a
Actual
solid
literal
ton of
time.
rock.
it's the worst version of Goro.
Literal.
Okay, but real question: which one of us is on top?
No.
Do we
Hard
put
to
the
say.
shorter
It's
person
like-
at top or the
It,
shorter?
no. You wear Cobb in a baby Bjorn right here, and so his arms are
Oh, even
around
better.
around your waist.
I
And
can't
And
actually
his
live
head
too
his head
comfortably.
is like in your where your chest is.
You can't even imagine me fast. That would be so fucked up for this campaign.
Y'all literally would like be the equivalent of a space marine at that point.
Absolutely.
That'd be
Oh,
amazing.
Fuck.
It would be
But
very cool.
yeah, those who haven't already planned to take off, I'm planning to go around and ask what their intentions are and offer them passage if they want it.
Oh, really interesting. It's kind of
Seem a
like
little bit
she looks at you
secluded from-
expectantly. Because you just said you're gonna go around
Oh,
and
no,
offer
not you.
everyone passage, and yet you have not offered her passage.
That was yes. This is me offering you passage. If you
Oh,
want to go
that
to-
was you offering
Yes,
passage.
if you
Go.
want
Oh.
So
See, I
Oh,
didn't. I
God.
didn't want to assume.
Well, you know what happens when you assume.
Oh, are you good? You seem a little bit more secluded from everybody.
You good?
Well, I would have hung out with Eduardo. Or I would have hung out with Jorg or Omar. But they're both dead, and Eduardo is in chains, and I'm pretty sure Kuno would have tried to fight me if I tried to hang out with him.
No.
And your friend made it pretty clear that if I got into a fight, probably she wouldn't side with me. So I figured it would be best for me to not do that.
Like I said, my comrades aren't me. I'm not my comrades. But yeah, just I think now with the captain having departed, maybe tensions will lower a little bit.
Oh, I would imagine. Tensions are always lower when she's not around. Or higher
I
when
picked
she
up
is
on
around.
that.
She's a very high-strung individual. Not my vibe.
All right, well, if you're gonna stick around, make yourself comfortable.
Okay,
All right.
sure. Sounds
talk.
grand. Wonderful.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
She you have just offered this person you do not know passage, and she's just like, yeah, okay, cool. All right.
I mean, I don't have to know that.
I don't know
Whatever.
where
It's-
we're going,
it-
but
it-
sure.
It's not as strange a thing as I'm actually making it out to sound. It is not uncommon for vessels like yours to do this. To just ferry a few passengers here and there between your destinations.
But yeah,
It helps kind of like ease and what's the phrasing? I want to say lubricate, but that's not the kind of like it
Yeah,
helps
lube 'em up.
always time for
lube them up.
lubrication.
Now it helps ease the overall flow of traffic throughout Little Ix. There's a lot of vessels moving about the archipelagos, but there aren't a lot of non-House Verona, non-Fulcrum vessels moving around Little Ix. And so that can make traveling a bit difficult. There are vessels of the Navy that are specifically like chartered vessels for like passengers and stuff like that, but waiting around for those can be a pain in the ass. And so like the various officials basically just like hand wave a lot of shit like that and say, as long as you're not making trouble, and as long as trouble isn't made on your vessel, then kind of just do what you want type thing. But of course, right, like the caveat to that hand waving is if trouble is made by someone you decided to let on your vessel, that comes back on you, right? Like that type of thing.
I mean,
But
Alright,
it's a pretty common
for the-
practice.
For the sake of brevity, I'm like, instead of talking to every single person, how many people,
You're just like extend the invitation.
yeah, like how many people would want to go to Puoso?
It's really the Arroyos and the Coronels are already gone, right? Like they have people they know in Parada, right? Like they're invested in this area. The only other individual here that kind of like is potentially interested is Hunold. And he thanks you for the invitation, and will consider it, but it doesn't seem like he is really thinking about taking the trip with you all, right? He's just kind of like idly curious about what's going on with like
We let him fish off our ship. and
to
this is how he treated us.
clarify what's going on with Hunold, because I think you all might like recognize it at this point. He's intrigued by y'all. Like, you showed up out of fucking nowhere, rescued a bunch of people, went into the jungle, fought a bunch of fucking lizards, rescued them, and then like you're here. He's looking at you not with like a, oh, I want something from them kind of like look. He's looking at you all with that kind of like quintessential, I've got
Dang,
this,
they cool.
like, yeah, but kind of in this vibe of like, I kind of want to like remember them because I get the feeling I'm gonna be hearing about them in the future. Like, this is your renown slowly beginning to build, basically.
Sure.
Like, Hunold is one of the first people that you're level 1
He's
now.
our fan number 1.
When you're level 3, you're gonna find out that Hunold has been in taverns talking about you, right? Like that kind of scenario, right?
Damn, I should have chopped off the head of the lizard to use as a trophy to hang off a roach while we're riding around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would
true.
totally be really good to do in the archipelago where almost every island has a clan of Tetzalcoatl, which is the lizard
Tie
folk.
his corpse, like instead of having a figurehead, we just tie his his corpse to the bowsprit.
That's gonna be great. They're totally great for relations. Absolutely.
I thought so, but I wasn't sure, but I did think so.
I'm glad I could
Confirmation
confirm it
makes
for
me feel
you.
better about it. Yeah.
Really, in so far as like board passage, right? It's just Blackbird and Arila that seem to have bitten or taken you up on that offer.
Okay. I mean, unless there is protest amongst the other quad captains.
Quad captains!
I'm not a captain. I'm a
You-
cook.
You are all quad captains. Don't make me
Master
say
Chief.
tri-captains instead. I already made the
Tri-captain?
joke with quad captain and Uvik having 4 arms, and Ambrosio likes that. You have to be a quad captain, Higgins.
I mean, we can be a quad captain, but
But you're
Not
not going to
Higgins.
do any captain duties. You're just going to
custody.
cook. That's fine.
yeah, I only cook.
That's
I
fine.
don't make decisions on this boat.
That's up. You do make decisions. You make decisions on what to eat.
That's true. I do that. I stand corrected.
That's a very important decision. You make a decision on
is.
what to cook.
Some would argue the most important.
It could be. When it comes to soldier
Some would argue.
sailors,
I'm just saying, if we're not nutritionally balanced,
it's
who knows if
also
any of us even make it to the fight?
it's also a very important decision for you because I'm pretty sure you actually get penalized if you eat other people's food.
Yeah, if I eat
that
shitty
isn't-
food, I
if you
like
eat
lose
shitty
a
food,
recovery.
you actually get penalized.
That's very funny.
That is.
No comment.
Anyways, after all of that kind of like discussion and chicanery, right? You are all able to get directions to the Princeps office, There's a large-ish building in the center, not large by any standard of any city or anything like that, but by the standard of this town, decently large. It's clearly a very military-oriented building. There are a lot of guards, and it's basically just the quarters of House Verona and the Far Mariners here in Parada. But considering they basically run this town, that's a pretty big deal. So the Princeps is a pretty busy person. And there are a couple of people who are already here to talk to the Princeps. When you arrive, Blackbird is already like waiting outside of in this little lobby outside of the office of the Princeps. And as you arrive, she kind of gives you a nod. The door opens. Kouno comes out of the office with Eduardo in tow, hands Eduardo off to a pair of guards, and is is clearly stating instructions to him. Eduardo is gonna get flogged, and then he's gonna spend 2 hours a day for 3 days in the stocks. And he still has the same relatively impassive look on his face, just like, I'm not dead, I'm still dealing with this woman. Okay. Right? And she sees you all, gives you a nod, and it's not hostile, but she is clearly unhappy about something. And then she just leaves, right? And when she leaves, Blackbird... IDK? Maybe you can find that out.
She seems like such a positive, chipper person.
Such a positive, chipper person. When she leaves, Blackbird goes into that office. You all are able to, like, you're called out to by basically the military receptionist there, who takes your name, your information, that you're here to report into the Princeps on your mission, etc., etc. And he questions you primarily about the provisions that you have on board the unfortunate Scorpion that were bound for Grinnell, right? And asks you if they're still on board, if they're intact, etc., etc. He nods, and he starts to write out something. He calls over a guard, hands it off, and informs you, right, like that he's tasking a crew to go and retrieve those provisions from your vessel, right? They were bound for Grinnell. Grinnell is an outpost of Parada. They're not going to Grinnell, so Parada's obviously going to commandeer them, get them off your boat, and and you can go from there, right? Which is all completely above board, nothing out of the ordinary there, nothing that your crew, which are still on board the Scorpion, will be unable to handle. That'll be taken care of probably before you even get back to the ship, right? So after that, he asks you to wait, and it doesn't take very long. It's probably maybe 20 minutes or so before Blackbird exits. Gives you all a nod as she exits, speaks to a guard momentarily before coming over to you all, and saying, I was given leave by Princeps Ragash to have passage to Pouso. So if you'll still have me, I will take you up on that offer.
Welcome
Let it be
aboard.
so.
Absolutely.
Assume you're all going to be leaving in the near
we've already
future,
answered.
so I will go retrieve. I have a few things here in town from my prior stay, so I'll retrieve those, and I will meet you at the docks.
Sounds good.
Make it
She
so.
leaves.
Okay.
And you are like the receptionist kind of points to you and points to the door. It's all like everything's pretty heavily guarded, right? But it also has a very informal, pretty casual feel. Just points to you, points to the door. You're next.
Quad captains enter.
The quad captains enter. It
Formal.
is
Oh, we're the Quaptons.
the Quaptons. I
Oh
don't
my
like that
God.
at all.
No,
I
no.
regret this. I do not like the Quaptons.
Nothing
You
beats a good
enter.
portmanteau.
You enter into a
The
decently
Quapton
sized office. It's got a very it's got a very rustic vibe. There are bookshelves. I'm trying to just ignore it. I didn't like that. There are
He likes
bookshelves
it.
lining the walls. There's a display case with a bunch of different like artifacts or trinkets, right? Like there's a couple of like pinned like insects, right? Like butterflies and beetles and things like that are in this display case. But there's also like various objects and things like that that may or may not have cultural significance. Who knows? But the main thing is a big old desk that, considering the size of the desk and considering the size of the door, you have no idea how they actually got it into this room. It looks like it's all made of one solid piece of wood. And it looks like they would have had to have built the room around it, or at least brought it in before one of the walls was up. It is very large. And behind it is an equally large individual who looks a bit out of place. Almost all of their light green skin is covered in various bits of garb, in mostly not like full plate armor or anything like that, but it's like the gloves that you would be wearing under a gauntlet. Like it's all like this person put on all of the stuff that they would wear under a suit of full armor, and then stopped right there. Was like, here, I put on all of that stuff, and now if I need to get into my armor quickly, I've done part of the work, right? It's like half donned type scenario. And so they're very large, almost as large as Higgins is. They are very broad-shouldered. They have kind of like this short cropped hair that is a little spiked up a little bit. And very specifically, you cannot see their face because their face is encased in a mask of bronze.
Oh.
The man in the bronze mask.
And you hear a gruff but feminine voice say, "Have a seat. I understand you are the mariners who mounted the rescue in Grinnell." And you can hear through kind of like the toothy voice, and like the stature of this person. This is an orcish woman. Princeps Ragash is a female orc. And she gestures to there's a kind of like a half moon of chairs that are in front of her desk.
All right, I'll pop a squat.
Yes.
The chairs
Yes.
are exceptionally well made, and they do not buckle or bow under the weight of any of your heavier comrades.
Very good. That's
Very
good
good.
planning.
Good planning.
Strong will.
You see Cobb, if you sit down, you see Ragash, because you can see her eyes. You can't see her face, but you can see her eyes. She is looking at you as you sit down, and it's more like she's looking at the chair. And when you fully sit, she pauses, kind of grunts in approval, and like nods like, hell yeah, good chair. Nice. You know? Like,
Hell yeah.
I bought or I had imported from the right person. Good chair. Good job. Nice. You
I
Just a
know?
also
little bit of
approve.
silence, waiting to see if you hear cracking.
Yeah, just to see does
No, wait, just a
does
second.
anything happen like that type of scenario? And she says, right. Your mission was the delivery of seasonal provisions to the outpost of Grinnell. I've heard a little bit about this situation. I would like just a quick synopsis of the events that took place yesterday from your own words.
Quick synopsis. We arrived and they were under attack from the Plasitsky. We were told by Blackbird that a lot of them were taken, so we decided to mount a rescue, and we successfully pulled it off. Now, there were casualties on the way, but we did end the threat. It looked like
Casualties on
both sides.
amongst your crew.
Oh, not our crew. So far, our crew is fine, but the settlers.
So, individuals, guardsmen, etc.
And I believe one of Quono's crew members was that one, the one on the altar.
That was also a guardsman.
Okay.
So no farm mariners perished.
That seems to be the case.
Understood?
I will say that the Plasitsky threat seems to be dealt with. They were under some kind of enchantment, and they were not acting on their own. But after laying low
Enchantment?
the leader, yes,
What do you mean?
their eyes, they were glowing amber, and we actually spoke to one of the Plasitsky that mentioned, it was a hard conversation to get through, but they weren't acting of their own accord. And she mentioned that if we took out their leader, that they would all be freed. And that seemed to be the case. Once we downed the leader, the aggression stopped. They fled.
Some sort of mind control, then, or influence?
Something like that. The only common thread was that the ones that were under control had glowing amber eyes.
Your compatriot, Captain Kono of Grinnell, mentioned that the Death Rex leading them was wielding an amber glaive.
Yes, that is true.
Okay. Are you in possession of this weapon?
Does Higgins have it on him right now?
Whip it out.
Would you mind? And she kind of gestures to her desk, which is
That place.
mostly cleared. Like, it's a big old desk for not having a lot on it, honestly.
Yeah. I gently place it on her desk.
She
I also
nods.
leave
amber.
a cloth in case she wants to handle it without actually touching the blade.
She reaches out to it, to the cloth, grips, lifts, and like seems like she's just testing it. And she much like you, kind of like lifts it effortlessly, right? Like it weighs nothing. Sets it down, She's got gloves on, right? Touches it. Pulls her gloves off of one hand. Touches it. Kind of narrows her eyes a little bit. Grunts, releases it, puts her glove back on, and says, "Well, I'm no mage. I have no authority on these things. Kono seemed to think that this was a growing eventuality with the Tlatsiski. What is your opinion in that matter?"
From my experiences, they've been amicable trading partners. This attack seems almost completely out of left field. Actually, here, and I'll reach in and pull out a copy of the report I wrote and hand her this, and I'll be like, "This is a more detailed telling of what we went through."
She takes it and
And
starts reading through
I
it
know
as you're talking.
you're busy, so I'm not gonna take up more of your time than necessary, but maybe this will shed some light.
She reaches over, grabs a little like snifter glass off to the side, right? Kind of like scenario. And like moves her jaw and spits into it, and you see this thick, like sludgy liquid come out of her mouth and into the snifter.
Tobacco?
It
She
sets
just
it
chewing
sets it to the
tobacco?
side, and you can see like you can't see, right, like see her face, so you can't see like the telltale like sign of like a bulge in her jaw or anything like that. But like just barely, when she does this, she has to lift the mask slightly to spit into the cup, and you can see burn marks across her, like really bad burn marks across
to get
the
her a nice like
portion
spittoon or
of
something.
her chin where she kind of like lifts the mask to spit into the cup, and then sets it to the side and says, actually, she'll grunt, and she calls out like loudly, just like calls out for a guard to enter. The guard comes in and she waves him over. She hands it over to him. Have a copy of that made now. Bring it back to me. She hands it off to him, and he exits. And she nods and says, I believe, of the same opinion as you seem to be. In my experience, Kono, you hear a grinding of teeth, is a bit of a xenophile. And personally, I think she's too high-strung to be in this position. I do not get to make decisions on such matters, but I would point to her station in that outpost as a telltale sign. Unfortunately, she is well connected. Your next port of call will be Poso. That's not a question. That is a statement. As Princeps, I have right to commandeer your vessel. In this current situation, I have no use of your services other than for you to return to the base in Poso and deliver the report you just handed me.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
High Command there. I understand you will be giving passage to Blackbird. Are there any other passengers from the refugees you will be taking with you?
Yes, there is a devil that has requested passage to us to Puoso as well. A civilian.
You hear this kind of like tut noise from behind the mask. She reaches over and pulls up a piece of paper and says, one Aurelia?
I see the captain has already brought her to your attention.
Captain was quite insistent on her demand. Fortunately for this devil, she has a charter and has broken no laws of House Verona. It is not her responsibility to ensure she doesn't fraternize and keep a guardsman from her duty. It is said guardsman or said mariner. So, I have no issue with her. I would, however, caution you in your associations going forward. How much do you know of Captain Kauno?
Not anything more than what I gleaned from my short time with her. She's
I'm going
seems be
to
a bit of a
give
hard
you
ass.
some information and a suggestion. And this is friendly, mariner to mariner. But also, she kind of like slow walks a look over each of you. Over the Time Raider, the dwarf, the undead lady, and the fucking big ol' rock man. And she gives you a nod and says, you are all skilled enough, or else you would not have made it into the positions that you are in. I feel safe in presuming that not all of you are native to capital. Kono comes from a minor house, but that house is well thought of and well connected, especially to House Verona. I have been unkind in the words that I have spoken to you about Captain Kouno, because I believe, in looking at you, that we all may be of like mind and potentially like experience. Captain Kouno is a strict and duty-bound individual. She takes her responsibilities extremely seriously. And while I think she is high-strung, I do not begrudge her following her duty to the letter. I think because of her heritage, she takes it too far. And to Yuvik and Higgins, that means nothing, right? To Cobb and Bansii, that means significantly more. Because Kouno is clearly Higaran, right? Her family is clearly Higaran. And as actual residents of capital, you would know that
Sounds like one of my people.
as Higaran. It does, it kind of does, right? The Higgins, the Higarans. As residents of capital, you know Lady Shirome, the leader of the Fulcrum, is a Higaran noble, or a former noble of Higara. Which in the Great Game is something that can be exploited, right? So if a Higaran minor noble family to House Verona is seen as being less than dutiful to House Verona, perhaps that is because they are actually working for the Fulcrum.
Sound ambitious.
Now, so the Princeps kind of says this, right? And there's no implication that Kouno is like a traitor to House Verona. In fact, the implication is the opposite. That Kouno is such a tight ass because she feels that she has to never do anything against House Verona, right? And what the Princeps seems to be trying to get across to you is that while she doesn't agree with Kouno's attitude, she understands potentially where it's coming from. After that, Ragash sighs and says, all that being said, I think it's important to know that when you're dealing with these people, you should keep your head down. Regardless of what you feel or how asinine some of these people are, your best bet, your best method of retaining your status as mariners, of moving up in the ranks, is to let them play their games and just do your work. Does that make sense?
That's fine by me. I just like being out on the water.
I'm armed.
Kind of grunts. Yes, well. There's a knock on the door and she says enter. That guard comes back in, hands her a piece of paper, hands the original back to you. She looks through, nods, opens a drawer, puts the copy into the drawer, says, oh shit, who is that? Oh fuck. She knows the name. I have forgotten the name. She tells you to take the report that you have given her to the consul.
Someone very important.
Well, it's the consul. I know it's the consul. I can't remember the consul's name. I've forgotten his name. I apologize.
Don't worry. For
take
as many
it.
names as I've already forgotten.
Take it to the consul in Poso, and do so forthwith, because there are going to be reports. There is going to be communication going back and forth, and she'll you know, she is being very open with information right now. Like she's looking at you all like you're a bunch of fucking randos, and she's an orc, and she's like, yeah, these people probably get it. I'll roll the dice here. And she says, get that in the hands of the consul, and do your duty. And
Will do.
hopefully we will not have open war on the islands this time next year.
I would much prefer that.
Yeah, so would I. Anything else?
I believe that covers everything.
Good work. Honestly.
Thank you.
A lot of people will say you did what you were supposed to do. But honestly, that's shit. You saved a bunch of lives there. And, you didn't have to go into that jungle. She points at the glaive. And she says, you should get that checked out in Oso. I can't imagine that there isn't something more going on with it. But, I mean, hell, the mages there are going to be much better equipped to try to figure it out than anyone we have here.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
I would... And you see her eyes get a little furtive for a moment. She says, have you... She looks at you, Higgins, because you handed it over. You used it yet?
Nope, not in combat.
If you want to keep it...
Did you just imply you used it to cook?
In cooking? She says,
sorry.
if you want to keep it... I mean... Normal rules apply. Booty and all that, but,
Woo.
I'd suggest you have it looked into on the down low.
Like back alley mages, or what do you mean by that?
I assume you have some friends and connections, something. Or just
No, I
pay
don't have any
for it.
friends.
You have no friends?
Yes. We shall see
Unfortunate.
Al.
We
says-
see owl. Is that what you said?
Al. A-L.
Oh,
Short
Al.
for aluminium.
Aluminium. There's now an NPC named Aluminium in Pouso. Great, I love it. Fantastic.
Awesome.
I will put that in the notes. She
He is my
looks at
cousin.
you, Higgins, and she says, if you take that report and that into see the console, you're probably not getting it back.
Then we should probably throw it overboard on our way there so that it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
She, like, this Princeps just looks at you and shrugs and says, look, plenty of us have grabbed this or that after a fight, and like I said, normal rules typically apply. But, and the normal rules of, like, you are allowed booty, plunder, but, you know, from fights and things like that. Like, that is
The spoils of
spoils of combat. That is a perfectly normal thing. It's not like you all have to immediately turn over any and everything that you find to your superiors. But in this particular situation, if you present this as a piece of evidence of a clan of Tetzalcoatl being mind-controlled against House Verona, then yeah, probably someone is going to be like, oh, we'll take
We're
that.
gonna take that.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so Ragash is just looking at you straight up and being like, hey, look, if you want to keep that, maybe, one, you should definitely look into it, but two, if you want to keep it, you should probably look into it on the down low.
Got it. Okay.
Cool.
Makes sense.
All right. I'm hungry. Is it lunch? It feels like lunch. Get out of my office. Go sail your boat or whatever it is you guys do.
Yay! The fun part.
She
on-
chuckles, right? Like she's very amicable in dismissing you, but she does dismiss you,
Yeah,
unless there's
on-
something else that you
like
got.
well, on my way out, I'll like poke my head back in her office, and I'll say, sorry, you mentioned that we didn't have to do what we did. I've slept many nights poorly because I didn't do those. I like sleeping sound. And I'll nod and head out.
It's
I grab the glaive and
Is-
follow him.
it is now your
Quacken's
choice.
out.
You have new orders.
Quacken's out.
Quapton's out. I hate it. The Quaptons was bad enough, but when you said quap them cheeks, I fucking lost my ability.
Oh my god.
I lost my ability to process.
Nothing can be done about it at this point. It is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm very upset. Okay, dokie. It is 10:25, and that is a good place for us to end this session. The trip to Pouso should take you all. It doesn't take you quite 3 days, but we're going to count it as 3 days of downtime activity. So the next time we play, we will do some downtime projects where we basically roll for shit. There's a lot of different things you can do, and you don't need to prep a whole bunch, but if you want to look through the downtime section for various things, you can. There's things like training in skills, there's training in languages. Those are pretty easy things to do, though they can take a while. Your progress builds up over time. But it does require that you have certain materials, or you have like a person who can tutor you in a thing. So keep that type of thing in mind. Like, you could teach each other languages, you could teach each other skills, but in order to do something like that, one of you is basically sacrificing their downtime project to assist the other person by teaching them that thing, right? So you can kind of share skills and languages and things like that. But you can also just purchase those types of things. You could like buy a Higaran dictionary to learn Higaran, right? And then make your own rolls, etc., etc. But those types of things will cost you treasury. So right now everyone is sitting at 1 treasury, I believe. And treasury is basically just how this system handles money, gold, right? Like you don't just find piles of gold and add it. So I have 537 gold and this thing costs me 300 gold. Instead, you basically have a treasury that's incremented 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And each, I don't even know if it goes all the way up to 10. I think it only goes up to 6. And at 6, you can like buy a castle, right?
Yep.
So 1 is basically like you're self-sufficient. You got a job, you've got income. You could spend, you could stay at an inn, you can do whatever, right? But if you want to buy something that might be expensive, it'll decrement your treasury from 1 to 0, right? And then either you have to do something to accrue that treasury back up to 1, or you guys again have stable jobs, so that will slowly accrue over time. But it's not going to accrue from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, because each one of these is more exponential than the last. You're going to have to defeat a dragon and take its treasure hoard, or save a king from assassination and he grants you, a land title or something like that. Though that's how you kind of like build up your treasury, right? Like those types of things. But you could, if you're doing downtime projects and you want to learn like a new skill or language or something like that, you could decrement your treasury to purchase the necessary requirements there. Basically saying, yeah, I basically spent my savings on this Higaran dictionary to learn how to speak Higaran. That type of thing. in my free time. Or you can fish! There's a fishing downtime project! Yay! There's also cooking downtime projects, learning new recipes and things like that. So there's a bunch of different downtime things. If you go through the downtime projects and nothing seems to really kind of like hit what you want to do, there's a lot of stuff in there, but if nothing seems to hit what you want to do, reach out to me and we'll make something up.
Is there whittling?
Is there whittling? I don't think there's whittlings, right? Like, that would be one of those things and be like, okay, let's figure out what whittling is, right?
It would
like,
be on point for Bansii to make toys in her spare time.
I think that'd be great,
Bones
right?
or like what?
Whittling
Bones
bones.
for children.
Whittling bones.
Children like bones
She-
too. What
she
the fuck?
whittles
Children
bones
like bones.
into
She
toys for
whittles a bone
children.
for the children.
Yikes.
That's how
I
you know
love
it's
it.
from Bansii.
Nobody said it was
Yikes.
human bones, Lily.
Bus. Okie dokie. So anyways, I don't expect the downtime portion of next session to take the entire session. It's just, hey, I'm gonna do this for my downtime.
You know who you're playing with.
Well, that's true. That's fair. It may take the entire session. It may not. If it doesn't, then probably the other portion is going to be role play, either with people on board. You have your crew, as well as your new passengers, Blackbird and Aurelia, but also getting to Poso and figuring out what you're going to do in the city. So as we kind of like set the stage for the next adventure that will be awaiting us, we'll do a little bit of downtime, explore that system, including kind of like the way Treasury works. And we're kind of just now dipping our toes into the way Renown works, as technically I don't think you all have really hit Renown 1 yet, but you are on your way to building that Renown 1. And Renown goes from 0 to 15, I believe. And 15 is like, gods know you and will have conversations with you. And 10 to 12 is like the kings of nations heed your words type stuff, you know? So you're still working on it. But like, I think we're getting close to that 1-ish, right? We'll get there. We'll see how things go.
We did a cool thing, so like...
Yeah, you did a cool thing. And that cool thing may or may not come back to you as you hit Renown 1. But we're not there yet. We're getting there. Anyways, that is it for tonight's session. Thanks for hanging out. We are moving into the holiday season. I think maybe we're okay for next week. We'll play it by ear. We'll see. But we're probably getting pretty close to the point to where it's going to be like 2 or 3 weeks where we're not playing, or maybe we're not playing a week, and maybe we're playing 1 week, and then we're not playing for 2 weeks. We're going to be playing this whole holiday season by ear. We'll see how it goes. But yeah. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
I'm not.
Bye!
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.